What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I was not planning on making a video today, but I came across some crazy stuff on Instagram and I just really wanted to share my opinion on it. So this is the post that we're going to be talking about. It is by Matt McGorry. It says, "I used to think before and after photos were inspiring. Now I realize they only inspired body hate and restriction." So as you can see, he actually reposted this by another account. It's actually an account that we've talked about before, Krista Marias, but he adds his own little spin to it and he talks about it in his own way. Before we get into the post, I was actually really interested. I was like, why does this person's face look so familiar? I was like really trying to put my finger on who this person was, because he has a ton of followers on Instagram. So like, he's somebody. He obviously has a following for some reason. And then I looked at his bio and he was actually in Orange is the New Black. He might still be in it, but I haven't watched it in a little bit. But he's one of the correctional officers in the show. And he was actually, so I really liked his character a lot. So I think it's funny that, you know, he's talking about this. So the first thing that I want to say is, obviously, I know that he has good intentions. I doubt that he is trying to make these posts to be inflammatory or to try and be, you know, make everyone up in arms and make everyone upset. I doubt that he's posting it because of that. I think he's probably posting this because he thinks that him posting this is going to help people, and I completely understand like where he would be coming from with that. So just right off the bat, I think that this post is really going to be on a person by person basis, because, you know, they talk about, I realized they only inspired body hate and restriction. So that's going to be to a person by person basis. Everyone is going to feel different when they see before and after pictures. Everyone is going to have a different response. And that's what I really dislike about the, you know, the health at every size movement, or a lot of these people that share this belief, is they generalize everyone into one group when everyone has different reasons why maybe they gained their weight. They are different weights. They might have different reactions to seeing before and after pictures. So to just make a blanket statement that everyone is going to feel this way, I think is a little misleading. Going on to the description of the photo, it says, same from my 10 years as a personal trainer," and then repost from Krista Marias. "When I was a fitness coach, before and after photos drove my business. It was posting my own weight loss photos that drew clients to me, sure that I could help them get the same results, and I promised that I could. Weight loss was easy after all. Just eat all the right foods in exactly the right amounts and get your workouts in every day. No excuse. Oh, how naive I was." Now, just stopping right there, again, that was her choice, you know, the person that actually made the original post, to use her before and after pictures as a way to sell things, right? I've never sold anything because of my before and after pictures. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. That was a choice that you made to try and up your business, which I don't think is the end of the world. I think that that's totally fine, because it does show people, hey, I lost weight, I was in your position, and I know how to change things for you. So I don't think that everyone that posts before and after pictures, one, I definitely know that everyone that posts before and after pictures is not posting them to try and make money off of them, or posting them to try and get people to ask them questions so they can make money off of them. Some people are just posting them because they're proud of it and they want to show their grandma, their brother, their uncle that, hey, look what I did. And I know that she is being sarcastic when she says that weight loss is easy, but I've always said that weight loss is simple. You know, being in a caloric deficit, that is a simple concept, but the actual application is very hard. It is one of the hardest things that I've ever done. And that's something that I think is very important that we need to drive home to people, is that losing weight is very difficult. It's not easy. It's simple, but that doesn't mean that it's easy. And so I think that it's really important, if you are a trainer that is working with someone, let them know, like, hey, there are going to be peaks and valleys. This is going to be a hard journey. Just because it's a simple deficit doesn't mean that's going to be easy for you to, you know, adhere to or to maintain, and that's completely fine. And moving on, I was told I was an inspiration. The fact that I had managed to shrink my body, and throughout my time as a fitness coach, I shared many before and after photos of my own clients. Everyone praised their dedication and hard work, and some people joined me, desperate for those same results. They would say they were inspired, but inspired to do what exactly? We weren't changing the world or changing lives. We were shrinking our bodies. Those photos inspired others who looked like the before to hate their bodies. They inspired us to quit eating the foods we loved and carefully portion our spinach and almonds. We were compelled to never miss a workout because that was weak and lazy and we had goals. Again, I see just words getting put in other people's mouths. If that's how she felt, that's fine, but that's what you should say. You should say, I felt this way, me. I always say I don't like to speak for other people because honestly, I think it's a little ridiculous to think that you know exactly how someone else feels, why they are doing things. I don't know why someone else is doing something. I know why I lost weight because I was afraid to die. That's why I lost weight. Are there other reasons for other people to lose weight? Absolutely. But this post is just generalizing everyone that this is how they must feel. They must hate their bodies because they saw my before and after and they wanted to look like me in the after, and so they must have hated their before body. That is not always the case. After years of coaching, I realized that these photos weren't as inspiring as I once believed. I didn't look like my first after photo anymore, and neither did most of the women I worked with. They kept coming back to me, blaming themselves for falling off the wagon and desperate to lose weight that just wouldn't stay off. Now, again, that's very, very important to let people know that you're not going to always stay at the lowest weight that you hit. Like, and if you always feel like you need to be there, that's probably going to cause some issues. For me, when I was down at 180 pounds when I competed in the bodybuilding show, like if I had the mindset of I need to stay this weight or I'm failing or falling off the wagon, I don't even want to think about the issues I would be having with food, or if I might have gained all the weight back because I would have constantly felt like a failure. So I think it's really important to show people like you might lose weight and get to a really low weight and realize I can't maintain this and I don't want to maintain this. So maybe gaining, like for me, 30 pounds up from my stage weight was actually a lot better and it's been much healthier and I'm able to maintain that. So I think it's really, really important to understand that you might hit a low weight that you're not going to maintain for the rest of your life. Why do we find it inspiring to see weight loss transformation? The after is not necessarily happier and healthier. The after is also likely only temporary. These kinds of photos reinforce that fat is bad, thinner is always better, and that we should do everything we can in order to shrink our bodies and receive the praise that always comes with losing weight. They reinforce fat phobia and promote disordered eating and chronic dieting. They're effective at selling products and programs, but not because they're inspiring, but because they remind us of all the ways our bodies are wrong and need to be fixed. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that there is none of that going on in the weight loss space. I think that there's definitely some shady stuff, and there's some people that do some shady things to sell programs. And I mean, I despise that just as much as I despise the other opposite side of the spectrum with the health at every size. Like, I really think we need to just get to a healthy middle ground. I do agree that a lot of people seem to think that losing weight is going to be a magic bullet. I've talked about it before on the channel. It is just going to help you lose weight. And if you have some issues that are going on because of your weight, it will solve those, right? If you are having some knee pain that losing 100 pounds might help, that might get help because you lost weight. But if you're feeling depressed or sad, you can't expect weight loss to solve that. I think it's very, very important to understand what weight loss can actually do for you and not try and oversell it to people, you know, the coaches out there saying weight loss will solve all your issues and you'll never have any problems because you've lost weight. So the reason that this post was kind of concerning to me is because, again, I said he has such a huge following, you know, 1.7 million people, I think, the last time I checked. And there's a lot of people that are following that might not know much about this. Like the people that are following the girl that originally posted this, they like those posts, right? Like it's a very niche thing. They're following her because they know that she posts those things. But this guy is an actor. So there's a lot of his followers that are like, I don't understand why you're saying all this stuff. So he actually went into his comments and he put this comment down in the post. Some people are going to comment about how before and after weight loss photos are actually about health. And while I can understand why you'd think that given what we are taught by our culture, these photos are still supporting the prevalent idea that health looks a specific way, like weight loss, and that weight loss equals health. It's still a demonstration of our value of thinner bodies in this fat-phobic culture. Would you post a before and after photo of yourself if you gained weight as you ended up healthier, or if you looked the same? Yeah, I would. I've actually done that before. I've shown when I was 180 pounds for my competition versus me being 205 pounds, I've said, this is what health looks like. Like, just because you are at your thinnest, that does not mean you are healthy. Health and thinness are not the same thing. Very, very, very important to make that distinction. So yes, I would post, and I have posted before and after pictures where I am thinner in the before and thicker in the after. So again, putting words in people's mouths. The likes and social affirmations come from the weight loss and what it represents. I promise you, when I won my first and only bodybuilding competition, extremely low body fat levels. No one asked me about my health, which was terrible physically and mentally, including binging that took place for more than a year after as a result. Amen. Amen. I 100% agree. I am not the biggest fan of doing bodybuilding shows. Again, I've talked about it a couple times. I did one. I don't ever want to do one again. It is not healthy for the vast majority of people. You do not need to be that lean ever in your life. Absolutely 100% agree. Yet the photos of me at this body fat level became my calling card to inspire others, even as it promoted my one shame and self-hatred. Again, it's all about those extremes, right? People love seeing that extreme of being super duper lean, being super shredded. Like that's how it's always going to be. People are going to see those pictures and they're going to say things. And I think that it's important to say like, hey, I was not healthy at this point. I struggled with binge eating. And so like, I'm glad that he's posting that and I'm glad that he's saying that. Now, most of these people with the health at every size movement, they are against the act of intentional weight loss. And I do agree to a certain extent that some people can absolutely take the act of intentional weight loss way too far and it can 100% become unhealthy. Now, I do think that there is a space for intentional weight loss. I do think there are people that intentionally losing weight and focusing on your weight is actually a very important thing and can actually be a life-saving thing. Now, it's funny because my friend Josh, or Beast Underneath on Instagram, I'll link his stuff down in the description, he posted a photo and a series where he talked about something that I felt like perfectly encapsulated how I feel about this topic. So this is the picture that he posted, and under it says, swipe through, 1 year ago, I ended up in the hospital for some blood clots in my lungs. A result of being in a dark place and falling off hard. I couldn't even stand for 10 seconds before I struggled to catch my breath. All my vitals were terrible, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, blood sugar levels nearly at diabetic range. Things were not good. Crazy to see where I am a year since then, losing 100 pounds, moving across country, living my best life. My weight's stalled for the last couple months, but I'm still very proud of being able to pull myself back up from what could have easily been my deathbed. A great reminder to keep positive and keep pushing and chasing goals. Just got to take it one day at a time, 1 minute at a time if you need to. We got this. Let's go. And then as you can see, that's him in the hospital bed. I've actually met Josh. I met him. He actually came to that bodybuilding show I was talking about. And I remember just how he was very, very nervous. I could tell that he was very nervous, but now he's become one of my really close friends, and I've seen him, go through the ups and downs. And I mean, he was a really, really big guy. I think he was close to, or if not over 500 pounds. I did talk to him. He said I was fine to share this with you guys. But then if we swipe through his pictures, you see him riding a bike, you see him going on hikes, you see him like literally living a better life because he has lost 100 pounds. And like, that's what I am talking about when I'm talking about intentional weight loss. That's what intentional weight loss can be very, very important for someone, because for him, like he said, he thought he was on his deathbed. And so for him, losing the 100 pounds was very, very important for him to live a longer life. So again, I think that's a beautiful representation of what I try and share when I am, making these videos where I am kind of reacting to what these health at every size people are saying, because I think there is truly another side to the story that needs to be told, and I don't mind being the person that tells that story. With that being said, I would love to know what you guys think about this topic. Seriously, I would love to hear your opinions. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There was one other thing that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, look how buff I am.
Obey the warning signs, and when there are flashing lights or wigwags, don't attempt to cross until they come to a complete stop.